Wow, I'm so prepared. Nice black square, broski. Where the hell is my chat? Yeah, eat. Shut. Yeah. It only loaded one message. Wow. Okay. And it loaded in the wrong order. Wow. Okay. My ASDF came earlier than D. That's a thing? Huh. Look at that. Anyways, it is what it is. Maybe I'll do the update later. Anyways, I'm going through tagging and stuff for the system here. Actually, I'm just gonna open it up. Oh my god. Give me a second here. So I spent some time yesterday making sure that I went through everything for the I went through all 5,086 images. This doesn't work very well if you change the size of it, but I went through and tagged everything that is considered suggestive in my mind. However, the tagging system is a lot harder. It's a lot harder than I expected because it's not just about what you see, it's about what is being implied. And then, like, I'm also kind of confusing between whether if I'm using the tags to mark stuff that are suggestive and explicit, or am I using it to mark stuff that I want to show and don't want to show? Because it's kind of like the same thing, but also not like the same thing, right? I think my new philosophy is that tags should do what they do, right? And then what should be shown or what not should not be shown, that should be something of an entire tag different entirely. I think in all likelihood down the line, we'll be selecting very specific things to show, like for example the ones that are chosen for color analysis. Actually, the tagging system, yeah, is quite hard to sort of do really well here and be really comprehensive because you can spend a lot of time tagging. And then in fact, a lot of those large image sites, they all have their own issues with taggings too, because you have like the entire community tagging, but everyone has a different idea of what the tags mean. And then you have moderation and blah blah blah, and then it becomes a lot of problems. But anyways, what I do want to do is probably hello George. So down the line here, we might I will have to go through this myself. It might span a little bit of on-stream time, like for example stuff like this, right? Why did I add this? Because I saw the texture. Texture looks kind of interesting, but then overall as well, the general color balance is also pretty nice, right? The source is at the bottom of the screen, by the way, which I realize is not necessarily very readable. It does have the handle, but at least it's always on screen, so that's something. And then there's also other people that does stuff like this, like composition, like stuff that are very good at composition. Design, I guess, is strictly... I think when I did the word design here, it's not very clear what design meant. You know what? I should probably make a note of this. Actually, no, I can do this later. Because when I start actually tagging, I'll be very aware of what is and isn't good. And then we have stuff like this, you know, pretty insane stuff. But anyways, this one here is about shapes and textures, right? So you could also, yeah, so this would be under rendering if we were to mark it. And then this here is just everything. It's like rendering, color, composition. Holy shit, everything is in here. And then we've got all these mangas, poses, 3D. Anyways, eventually, hopefully not too long later, like I've got junk in here, as you can see. Someone else's factory's blueprint here. But eventually down the line, we will have our own individual stack of various things. Like, is this considered suggestive? I don't know, is the thing. Because the focus is very clearly on the breast. And not necessarily in an artistic way. Right, it's not like we're trying to show people how to draw it. In which case, even nudity might be fine. So, like, tagging a not safe for work and suggestive here is quite hard. I can see the skin. I don't know. This one looks pretty normal. Like this one here as well. Like there are certain things that are kind of interesting. This one I didn't tag it because so what it says here is where did my shorts go, right? So there is some sort of embarrassment. There is some sort of implied nudity over here. But then because there is nothing being shown, and this is not necessarily portrayed in the sexual context, I just ignored it. And then there are also skin, very, very sort of showing skin stuff like this. Like if the character's wearing bikini, is that not safe for work? Is that considered suggestive? Because if you go on Reddit and you look at the Arknights subreddit, if they show skin at all, including bikinis, it's considered, you have to tag it as not safe for work, which is also fine, right? So where is the line being drawn here? And of course, the reason why things are so difficult here is because I'm not really using it for the purpose that I originally sort of bookmarked them for, and also not using this website for what it's meant to be, right? This website is not meant to be an image repository. It's not meant to be a place where I can tag stuff and find stuff by tags. That's not what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a place where I can just sort of label things that I want to come back to in a specific sort of, for a specific reason, right? So in this case here, the original reason why I added this is not so I can go into it, but because you have all these different ways of rendering consolidated in one piece here. So there was never really an idea of not safe for work, suggestive or whatnot. It was just meant to be a showcase of rendering. But then now, as I'm sort of categorizing things, would this be considered too much of this, right? And then there were quite a few pieces where like you can see the I forgot what this line is called in English, but the line that's go for the crotch where the legs connect to the body, you can kind of see the line go down pretty far because the characters have kind of lowered their whatever it is they're wearing on the bottom lower half a lot lower. So those things I would consider as not safe for work. But anyways, it's very interesting. If we go through here, yes, there are also artists that are known for drawing not safe for work stuff and also putting characters in a compromising position. But then you're not really seeing anything. But then the characters are clearly embarrassed and they clearly are kind of maybe doing it for, hello Devirus, for a little bit of more nefarious reasons. So is that considered suggestive? Is that considered not safe for work? Oh, this is the one of the pieces I was talking about. Like you can clearly see that line going down and it's not that far off from being just fully nude, right? But at the same time, this isn't necessarily explicit. I would say that this is suggestive though. I'm gonna click the button, it's gonna disappear. But anyways, yeah, tagging is very interesting. It's surprisingly tricky. It's very surprisingly tricky. Like, what is this? You don't see anything. You see like a pink spot there, and you can clearly see the suggestion here, right? Also, the you know, the implications of the text. So I would consider this as being suggestive. So yeah, it's kind of tricky. What I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna go through. I already went through a 5,000 images. I actually made an upgrade that is supposed to bring in another 1,400. That is like all the videos and GIFs, they are not loaded onto the system yet because they are not image files. So I asked for an upgrade to be able to bring it in. But before I finally sort of run and test the scripts, I do want to clear out what we already have. So, oh, sorry, you see this, but you don't see the continuation and whatnot because those are marked as suggestive and they're currently being filtered out. But yeah, I'm gonna go through all of the suggestive and not suggestive. Is this suggestive? This is a lot of skin, but it's not necessarily presented in a sexual context. And you know, from our point of view, this is a very good reference here. But I'm going to mark this suggestive because my new plan is to separate the responsibilities of the tags. So there's suggestive and explicit that marks out what is considered and isn't considered. So suggestive is just suggestion, whereas explicit could either means you can see the parts directly, or the actions are directly sexual, or the implication is very clearly sexual. Those will be marked as explicit, even if you don't necessarily see anything directly. Then I'll go through that other list, right? That list that we procured as suggestive and explicit. I would make sure that the stuff in there that I truly don't want to show, I will also hide them. So then we can actually drop the tags here directly. Like this one's also very interesting. Like you can kind of see through the body, but I guess there's nothing in there, you know. But at the same time, there's like ass, but the ass is transparent, so it doesn't have too much visual impact either. It's like, is this explicit? I don't know, because the clothing is kind of very strappy. But the other ones are kind of okay. And the irony being that, like, originally I thought that with this system here, I don't really have to continuously go through the entire list over and over. But the truth is that, like, this here, should this be suggestive? You can clearly see the clothing is kind of, you can lift up the flaps here. Character looks apprehensive. Over here as well, just single apron, very typical concept. I'll just mark them for now, for review later, because it's easier. The other list is a lot smaller. There's only about 500 suggestive and explicit images in the entire dataset. But yeah, like, I thought I just need to go through this thing once or twice, you know, mark them accordingly. But then a lot of these images that I favorited in the past, right, you can see is very cool. The rendering and everything is very cool. It's very unique. These characters don't have lines. The lines here are a bit brighter, right, whereas the lines here are darker. You have shapes, big shapes, small shapes, lots of textures here and there. Also design. But the thing is, like, I don't really feel as excited for them as I did before. And I think unless I can feel that excitement of like, hey, I really like this for XYZ reasons, I can't reasonably mark them as something just by guessing that I probably added for some reason. So the list, I kind of have to periodically go through the entire set. Also, you will see duplicates a lot, by the way. I kind of have to periodically go through the entire set and be like, huh, is anything new starting to sort of grow on me? Or anything old, rather. Am I rediscovering what I liked it for? And if so, I can mark it as such. And then slowly refine that list over time. So this will be an ongoing thing throughout the entire year. You guys probably won't see most of it. Right now, I'm just showcasing stuff now because we can finally show this on screen because it's finally getting filtered correctly. To give you guys an idea of what I'm using here. And yeah, anyways, a lot of interesting things. Like, is this suggestive? Because it's got armpits, it's got a lot of thighs, it's got an ass in there. I don't know. I think it might be okay for that. Oh no, I'll put it under review actually. Because the more stuff I have in there that I'm not sure of, the easier it is for me to find something that makes more sense. Okay, all this. What am I looking at here? Not enough pixels. Yeah, anyways. Because of this new system, there needs to be a change in philosophy when I bookmark stuff, because number one, I didn't bookmark certain things in the past because I thought it's gonna like really clutter my bookmarks page, right? It's gonna take a lot of effort for me to go. Like, what is this? Negative space? Is she tied up? But you don't really see it, so I guess it doesn't count. But anyways, now with the system in place, I can bookmark as much as I want, and I should be careful with the bookmarks and try to get as high resolution as possible instead of trying to get sort of those compilation tweets where you have 4 images in one. I should get the 4 images separately because I don't have to manually take a screenshot anymore. Alright, some design stuff that I thought was pretty cool, but I don't actually really like the design. But anyways, but yeah, I will return to our usual thing here. These are more of the recent ones that I like, by the way. So the larger it is, the more recent it is, supposedly. I'm not sure what number is basing it off of, because I don't think there is a number associated with the date that I actually bookmarked it. Or maybe there is. Who knows? Actually, there probably needs to be, because Twitter needs to prep the bookmarks for viewing. Yeah, maybe it is in the metadata. Ass, is that suggestive? I don't know. I'm just gonna grab it for now. Not the ass, the image. Hello, Debay. Yes, let's give this a try, actually. Maybe we can make something out of this system after all. Since I'm at it anyways. Where's my... Oh, I didn't start my Discord yet. Sorry, give me a second here. Oh, black and white. Survey dailies, yoink. I haven't really checked in on the server in a while. I hope everything is fine. No one's having any issues. Hasn't been any drama. Might have gotten lucky. Holy shit. Mods banned this guy. Holy shit, he got 4... Who is this? I can't see names right now because I'm on streamer mode. This is mods ban this guy. Ban this guy now. Anyways, good stuff. I'm just gonna scroll through the chat real quick just to see that we haven't gotten anything any very long pages of drama. Fuck ass midterms by Eisen. Very cool. Thank you very much. Anyways, right, Mia is going through a lot of stress right now, I imagine. This is not a pleasant time for him. All the best. Dang. Alright, I do see quite a lot of people on VCs. Can I delete this right now? Oh, I can. Okay. SDF. I want to see how well this works. So I need to make sure my filter is on. So it takes a while here, but then after it's done, it plots it. The problem with this plotting, by the way, is that it overwrites whatever that's underneath. So we have no idea what's underneath. But I don't think any of my current sort of statistics here is actually very useful at this point in time. So it's plotted over here. Does it seem like it's similar to the stuff around? I don't really think so. Right? Also, you can see the thumbnail is not generated correctly. But I'm like, cause also, so here's what's going to happen, right? Once the tagging for the initial set, and even as we are doing it right now, actually, even right now, I look at a piece of art recommended by Duvet or by anyone else, or just like by chance that we find. And the thing that stands out to me in this case would be the sort of lack of line art, right? The line art's impact is very, very minimal. And also this sort of very hazy, very glowy sort of vibes with the colors, right? The value contrast is kind of not that strong for the background, and not to mention the sort of way that the value contrast is brought down. There's a lot of sort of shared values between all these different parts. It's very close, despite being entirely different parts, and possibly even quite a bit of a base color difference. So ideally, we can find something over here. So number one, if we have a way to sort of differentiate between strong line art versus thin line art, or none. And then the other one would be like I think bright boundary might help, and also the sort of desaturatedness of this. So we can also do shit. Where's my hue shit? Oh, hue is over here. Maybe dominant hue? I have no idea where everything fucking went. It doesn't really work. So dominant hue actually only looks at hue. I went the wrong controller. It should be saturation here. Yeah, we're slowly going off the deep end here. So this is unfortunate. You can see that the problem here is that a lot of the math that's done is on the entire image. Even though the color on this one is pretty concentrated, pretty saturated and dark, the background kind of offsets it enough such as the average saturation bright is actually putting it in the sort of quote-unquote bright region of the map, despite being like it's a little bit closer maybe on that side. At one glance, it looks very correct, right? Because it is strictly speaking, technically speaking, correct, since the number of pixels does correspond to being here, but it's not very useful information for us for analysis. So unfortunately, this is a bit of a problem, but this feels very sort of similar. Yeah, actually, it's got more contrast. Anyways, you can kind of see the value, but also kind of see why it's also gonna be a while before it actually really provides us value, simply because of stuff like this. Because then it's not that straightforward now. Like, am I supposed to strip away the background, or am I not supposed to strip away the background? Because then there's also other issues where there are certain images where the background is almost constant. It's almost constant, just like what you would have with a white background, except it's a different color. Or if it might have been because of the sort of general lighting in the scene as well, like stuff like this, perhaps. If you imagine that everything else is also pretty bright blue, light blue, then if we have a script that looks for similarity in the background color, that, hey, there's a lot of pixels of this light blue, maybe it's just a flat background, and just remove it, then it would have been completely wrong. So it is kind of tricky. It's very tricky. You can kind of see similarities, but at this point in time, the similarity is way too sort of coarse, right? We have to zoom really far out to see the similarities, as opposed to like just being able to zoom into an area and they will all look very similar. Right now, if we zoom into an area, this is very, very sort of random, which is why there's the whole tagging system, by the way. Because if I go in and say I really like something's color or something's rendering, then I'm already narrowing the data set so that when we do apply this, if we start applying the filters on here, for example, then they will only be applied to specific subsets of the images. And supposedly, we would handcraft certain things for those subsets, and it will be a lot more effective. But anyways, huge tangent. I just want to try it out. But yeah, pretty interesting. So they do pretty like kind of roughish line. I imagine it's probably more painting related, painting centric perhaps. Going in from black and white into color. I wonder how they do the black and white into color part, because that's the part that we've been struggling with a lot. If the solution is to just do it by eye anyways, then the black and white part, I'm not really sure if it really serves that much purpose in the first place anyway, because it means that they have the eye to see it already. Then having the black and white is kind of just a good thing to have. I feel like they would have been able to do it anyways without it. But I now recognize the artist, by the way. I remember seeing they have one where actually they're on the charts, by the way. They're actually in my thing. What's their name? Kaiki Radio. I'm gonna clear the upload here. So artist. What's their handle name? Oh, Mayoi. Yeah, it's literally right here. Somehow. So I do recognize the style. Also, this should be suggestive, I think. Anyways, more tagging issues. I think why do I add this one actually? I think I like the. What do I specifically like about this? I'm not sure. Maybe it is the tits that I like. Yeah, the lighting, the vibes are kind of nice. Actually, the lighting is interesting. I have so much issue trying to use something that isn't actually very dark for the shadows. Like, the shadows here are not dark at all, like, value-wise, I think. Yeah, not enough control over lighting right now. Pretty good stuff. Painted. Yeah, a thin set of lines to sort of guide it, but then it's not necessarily very tight. And then after that, let the colors do the work, keep it loose. And they'll make it fast. We'll find out where we draw the line today, I guess. Today we do have to wrap it up, which reminds me I should probably get started. There's a lot of skin. Oh yeah, anyways, thank you, Duvet, for your daily. Wow, Stranger Danger. Stranger Danger Miku. Very cool, very cool. I'm gonna mark this as G here, and then it'll get taken off my... Oh. What? Oh, it's not getting taken out because it's the single selection view. Okay, I see. That makes sense. That's pretty good. That works as intended. Also, the Chrome is actually kind of shit because Chrome, if I leave it open for too long, it starts lagging. Like doing this. This is still very smooth. There's a casual 5,000 images on screen. Anyways, let me close it so I don't waste my memory here. But yeah, very cool, very cool. After like a couple weeks toiling. Anyways, after a couple weeks, at least we're starting to get some value out of it. I think. I'm not necessarily sure if that's a true statement. I would like to think that. I think the background has generally got the correct color vibes already. I remember saying I want to get the colors, the lighting feeling right first for the background before we start doing the character. I think most of it is in there. What I'm going to do is right now is actually add in a bunch of overall adjustments that will bring the scene together, and then we will also be able to push sort of foreground background a little bit easier rather than doing it manually on each layer here. So we want to make this part a bit more orange, right? I think. Be a bit brighter. I'm not gonna strictly follow the thing, of course, the photo. Can't tell. It looks kind of okay, but also kind of bad at the same time. I'm not sure what I'm feeling right now. Also, the water is gonna be a bit of a problem. No, it's not. It's not. Forget what I said. I think I can see like a very natural path forwards in terms of rendering process now, because we keep the actual sort of shapes and stuff a bit more flat, and then we just leave the sort of more fancy colors to like giant layers like this. And then if we really want to be super duper rendered, we would then paint over that and then apply another set of adjustment possibly over that set of paint over. And then that should bring us to somewhere that's pretty looking pretty tight, I think. Lower this a little bit. Oh, it's already. Oops. Anyways, too much talk, not enough action. I'm just gonna continue here. Let me play around the colors a little bit. So what time is it? So we're 30 minutes in. I do want to get this done today. So what does that mean for the timing here? This is kind of hard to say at this point. I guess we don't have the experience to worry about it just yet. Ooh. But if the lighting is that orange in the back, I imagine the front will be pretty orange too. There's actually certain charm to the original because it is kind of flat. I think it's not as dramatic. But kind of nice. Like it's kind of gray and it's kind of flat. It's more like ordinary life, you know. It's a little bit. Or like life. Ooh, wow, blow it up. Oh yeah, this is nicer, I think, right? A bit more cohesive. And it pushes her into the 4. Might not have enough contrast on this side then. A bit more dramatic, I suppose, the lighting. I guess not much has changed. Like they all could have been fine. Not could have. They all are fine. Just what you want, I guess. Something flat, something more interesting. Let's just go with this, I suppose. Where's my ground layer stuff? It's on top, right? Okay. What should I do with this? So this brightness should maybe be propagated across here. Because the lighting got more dramatic, that means I guess the shadow should be more apparent. We could also hold off on this because it is kind of depend. No, well, there is only one correct answer. I feel like. Regardless, should I be this? So this I kind of want to deal with this. So the lighting is more yellow, right? So it kind of follows what we have in the back. I suppose. Just be more aggressive and commit. Right, because the ground isn't necessarily that bright. I guess I do need the reference after. I was hoping to go without it, so I can just let whatever that's natural come out. But then I don't think I'm good enough for that just yet. So let's just bring it back. Okay, I see. It's just kind of pale blue. So it's more from the sky. The light is more from the sky rather than from actually the sun. Oh, which also kind of makes sense because I guess it is setting. So this part maybe wouldn't be that bright, but it's also not that serious. Maybe whatever. It's literally this one song forever, huh? Oh, it's not unlocked. Paint it on the same layer as well. Doesn't look very good. What is the pole missing if I want this lighting? It needs to be more orange, perhaps? Maybe it needs more of these guys. These kind of grays, perhaps. Oh, I do need to melt it. It's way too bright. Just a little bit. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this because we should leave it till the end of when the character's done. Because the general vibe is achieved. And then the next important thing, well, the most important thing is the character. We're only doing the colors first because we needed to figure out the lighting here. So, where's my character stuff? Oh, it's in the folder. Well, in that case, I guess we tune. Shadows are not very dark here, though. feel like it should have been a bit darker. And this cut on my thumb is so annoying. Because it's right where I press the undo button. The wound doesn't really heal. It's kind of like a little bit gaping. Maybe the value is a bit. It needs to be brought down. Bring it down. A little bit more desaturated. Main up and then the lighting on top. Oh wait, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Even if the buildings were, well, I thought that because the buildings kind of only are catching light on the higher floors, it means that she would be in the shadow of the earth, because that's what the shadow is supposed to be. But I wasn't very clear in my mind when I was thinking about the shadow. I thought it was a shadow from something. But yeah, it's a shadow of the earth. So these guys shouldn't be bright anymore if this was like this. So it's not very consistent. But then again, she's also kind of lit. Huh. No, but then it would mean that she's from the sky. Which is also fine, right? As long as it's a singular source. Regardless of what it is. Okay, then that's fine. Whatever, then. No issues here. I mean, I'm gonna do whatever that I was gonna do anyways. Yeah, a smaller brush for this one. More about shapes now. I think it's fine for now. Leave it. Just grab the entire thing. Yeah, this layering thing, this has to be the correct answer. Like, this is so much freeing to draw, knowing you can change the color whenever. Even if you do have to spend more time right now setting it up. Being directly lit versus being Also, the sky has its own gray, I suppose. Was that step jumping the gun? I wonder if I should have done like just gradients for now. Figure out what the colors should be before I start rendering. And the sky would have some kind of blue. And then when it comes to this, I can grab the colors that I want. Right. Anyways, let's just go off on that for now. So what is the shadow here? You know what? Alright, I can just grab it. Oh, but we need some. I need one of that. Yeah, I don't know. Too much thinking. Just whatever makes sense here. Alright, step by step. Don't rush it. Which one's brighter? Oh, I see. It's not by a lot. That's why it feels kind of weird. Maybe this part should be a bit darker, but gray. A bit bluer, please. Because the shadow isn't really that dark either. Oh, I think it's just mostly because it's cut. Anyways. Skin choose. Colorful. Wait, would the shoes be covered? Let's not have the light go that far down. But what would the shadow be cast by? The earth then? Because it'd be more visually striking if that were the case. Or should this be applied? Maybe it should be edited. But you need a really strong contrast to do this. So again, I don't know if this makes sense at all in terms of like how light works. It reminds me of that one scene in the it's at 5 centimeters per second where the rocket takes off. Oh, is that the The promised place beyond the clouds. I forgot which one it was. Surely it's not strong enough to do this, but how? Ah, shit, what's it called? Promise. I think it's this one, right? The one with the rocket? No? 5 centimeters then? Oh, it is 5 centimeters per second. So there's that one scene here where the characters witness the rocket launch off, and then it goes to this bigger shot where there's this shadow being cast by the smoke. I don't know if this is doable with just a singular hand. Or just a singular arm, I suppose. Looks cool though. Right, I think it's because of this guy not being able to be witnessed behind. It's not that, but I don't know. Let's leave it for now. Colors here need more orange. I'm just gonna start shifting stuff orange. I suppose. We are gonna need more contrast for this. the back is almost 100. Yeah, I wonder. Leave it. There's a bit of inconsistency with the way that this is being done. Background's colors are mostly flat, and then the gradients came in. Whereas our front character is based off of that. Which is kind of what I said I would do, so I guess it's consistent with the planning. But I wonder if this makes sense, or should the character just fit? But then again, whatever that works, right? If I decided that with the background done first, that I was gonna keep this kind of lighting, then I guess it doesn't matter that the character is done directly. Thinking about it would just be a waste of time. It is what it is. I suppose. It is what it is. I'm just not so sure about the colors that I'm seeing here. They don't really look very cohesive. Because I guess I can't decide right now whether if the lighting should be more orange or not. Should it? Should it not be? It's not very tied up because of how white the shirt is. But then the issue being, actually it's not really an issue. Because I was thinking that, because these gradients, they don't cover the character right now. And I feel like that is, you know, either we make it so that the ordering of the layers come on top. Oh, sorry, this needs to also cool. So that it affects everything evenly, or we separately apply some additional layers just for the character here. Either one works. Because we're keeping things this very loose here. Which is great actually now that I think about it, because it means that I don't have to worry too much about downstream when we actually want to render it. We just leave that for whenever we do want to push through those last final 20%, for example. In the meantime, we can reduce our complexity a little bit. This looks a bit better. But then the weird thing is that like the sky is way brighter. Is that normal? Because it feels like this is directly getting hit by the light. Yeah, and also, even though I do see an example of the shadow being cast, I noticed that like the sun is very much set, so the orange and blues and purples are very distinct. It could just be a color balance and color choice thing. It's not necessarily okay. Because I'm thinking that this physical phenomena, this light phenomena, must only probably appear given this time of the day. And if it's that time of the day, so if we want that effect, it must be a certain time of the day, and therefore the lighting and colors must be a certain way. But I mean, I guess I chose to represent the colors a little bit more like this instead of like that, being more saturated perhaps. Maybe. I don't know what color it should be. There should be some local sort of spillage from all the bouncing, but I want to leave that for the gradient. Oh, this is the right process, right? Surely. Just keep doing this for a bit. Because the tail is catching light there. I guess we should go all the way down here. And then maybe at some point it gets cut off. But I shouldn't line up with the back there. So I guess we have to kind of come through here. This is a good exercise in like trying to fit the character into the background, because the background does look good, I think. Not necessarily good as in like very good, but like good as in like it works. But usually when these things happen, you know, like when you're practicing for this, you kind of have a photo and you're learning off of that photo, so you know what you're doing is right. We are doing no such thing. And this setup is kind of weird. The fact that we have to apply the gradient twice, it feels a little wrong. It feels like it should be done together, so that it's all tied together, rather than having to separately tune for something. But then this way of adding gradients also wouldn't work that well anymore, just because like the lighting that's put in here and the shadows already kind of accounted for the sort of glow. So like say the clothing here, I guess I am gonna put in the stuff manually. I just take local color and just bounce it around, I suppose. Just a little bit weaker. And maybe this part is a bit darker, right? But like these areas should be a little bit more bounced. No, maybe not here, perhaps. This part should be bounced. The back could be a bit darker, I think so. Yeah, I guess I can't decide right now if the color should be going in with individual layers, yeah, or should it be overall. Makes no difference, I suppose, right? Like, as long as you get the colors, the right colors to the right spots. But there's a more natural way and a less natural way, and the more easier to get things done correctly way, right? Time will tell, I suppose. Figure it out over time. What should I fade this into? I want more... I want a bit of gradient on this clothing, on the light shades here. Orange light-ish. Kind of orange light. Not that orange light. Because that's very strong. Sure. Just a little bit of something, I guess. Oh, I just realized, oh no, I locked it. Okay, no, that's fine. But I did it on the wrong layer. Okay. What? The value changed. Hair. Oh, but the light shapes is smaller. Oh, it's a single layer. I see. Right, but then it wouldn't even be that blue because the sky is also orange. Now that I think about it. So what I had before was correct, I think. It's more red, but just desaturated. Something doesn't look good though. I don't know what it is. Maybe it could have been a bit more saturated, but then you won't be able to tell then. Well, I'm just gonna choose this. Right, I feel like so the way that I'm perceiving this part here, the way that the brightness works, I feel like these shadows are still kind of too dark. Like these gradients on the clothing aren't enough. I don't know why I feel it. I feel that that's the case. I'm just gonna bump it up for now. So the values, the lighting values here, the light values here are a little bit more grouped. Light values, just the values there. I guess I'm more grouped. And then same for you here. I want to bring this closer, but maybe more orange. But then this is bluish, and they're complements. That means they just get desaturated into grays, and then maybe I'll drop it here instead. Hello, Uni. Hum. Oh. And then over here. No. Right, but because of the shadow implications, doesn't it? I kind of have to keep the value. Don't group it too much. Right, okay, so this one is special. I do have to take care of this a little bit better. No, but because of how bright this is. A little bit. Clothing. Right. If I zoom out, it looks a bit more cohesive, I think. All the gradients in there. I think it has the values. Maybe it needs a little bit dark. Be a little bit darker, perhaps. She's still not grounded yet. Because of the shoes and also because of the floor there. Coco, Coreco? No, I just need the layer. Let's get these guys. Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot that this is not on a separate layer. Why do I keep doing this? Normal. Actually, would the shadow look like that? Because like I'm supposedly saying there's barely any light reaching the ground here. So I guess this part here should kind of go away. I don't know. I do have to stick to the scene a little bit more next time, I think. Not quite at the point where I can just kind of YOLO the thing. Where's my... Oh, it's here. What? That's these guys, right? These and this and this. Oh, it doesn't really. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it like this. No, not multiple. Yeah, I don't know what makes sense here. The ground here needs a proper reference if we want to really make it right. I just want to turn this part really dark. This line isn't contrasty enough, I think. Because of the screen. The screen is isolated here. I had like a half and half. Could be that strong. Don't know. Indeed. We're gonna learn this the hard way, guys. We're gonna do this the hard way. I mean, I've kind of done this the hard way multiple times. Broski. Not too bad, I think. Kind of dubious. Kind of work and not work at the same time. So I'm not really sure, but it is what it is. It's 10:45. 1 hour 15 in. We have 1 hour and 45 left. What is this? Oh, that was the base color. Can't see that. Do I want shadow here? I mean, I'm implying the hits, so. This is one of those pieces where it's just the failure is the point. Like the fact that I can't do this properly and not knowing what to do is the point. And over the next 1 hour and 45 minutes, it's gonna get drilled into my brain that this lighting doesn't work that well. I don't know what I'm doing for this lighting, rather. And then the next time I see something similar, it'd be a lot easier to have that information stick. Because I'm sure I've seen something like this before, but because I've never done it, it's just like, I guess I'm just like, oh yeah, cool shit, I guess. Never occurred to me to analyze it a little bit more, and even if I did, I probably would have forgotten most of the stuff. So now that we're here, this is going to help us, I'm sure. Kind of like the original lighting a bit more. A bit calmer. But it's fine. It's all good. It's the objective this time around. It's literally just get something done within like 6 hours, I guess, is our new target. I'm gonna get something done regardless. I don't know what I'm doing with the post. I just want something on it. Yes, thank you, Uni. I'll take a look soon. Oh, right, because it's a deset sequence. Right, yeah, there's not enough contrast, right? Unless she's literally blocking the pose. If not, it needs to have the same amount of contrast as she does, but just a little bit darker because of this sort of supposed light phenomena that's happening, I suppose. Okay, I see what's happening here. So we need to bump this up. Send it to the shadow realm. Where's the orange? Yeah, I'm not so sure about this, Broski. Keeping it black might be an option. Removing it is certainly an option. Anyways, let's take a look. Duvet did do his daily, by the way. Just want to put it out there. Oh, okay. This is a very good candidate for our new system here. Hang on, let me minimize this because this is gonna be a problem to get out of here. Right, I need to send the links. Yoink. And Discord. Sorry, I almost sent it to the moderator only channel. The one where I see people say bad words and then they get the message gets blocked. Why is it so smooth on Firefox? I guess it's just like I don't have a lot of tabs open. This is very cool. So I think it will be interesting. We should include one of this artist's pieces on the map just to see where it goes. I need a more permanent inclusion. Right now we can do a temporary one. This is kind of insane. What am I looking at? So I guess it's like the big colors, and then in the colors you kind of just go around, wave the saturation and hue sliders a bit. Actually, unironically, this is actually easier to do on my own setup because I did design it for this purpose. Because the zooming is kind of awkward on this side here. Whereas over here, once it's loaded, it's a lot smoother. It doesn't take that long to load anymore. Where is it? So, like, this part is what I was looking at. I guess it's like a layer mode on top too. Wow, okay. What kind of layer mode does this? Maybe it's like a hue that just shifts it into yellow here. Because it goes over those shapes. But it keeps the... Does it though? But like this doesn't... This kind of looks yellow actually. But then what about the values here? Oh, I don't have a... I do have a grayscale. Alright, so it does invert the values here too. So it's not just a simple hue filter then. Because if it's a hue filter, it would have kept the values the same, I think. Just changed the hue. Is that right? I'm not sure. A color layer mode hue filter. Interesting, I suppose. Where does this sit on the thing? Okay. So this stupid thing is still kind of useless because the scripts are very bad at trying to find this. Yeah, there's no similarities at all. You can see there's no similarities at all. I wonder if there's anything here that actually has similarities. Where'd it go? No? Achromatic count? No? It's next to photos too. I don't know what the math must not be doing what I think it does. Right, so this, yeah, these kind of images doesn't really work that well. It's taking the majority color. Anyway, let's just ignore this thing then. I need to fine-tune the system a lot. Oh wow, this looks really cool from afar. It's just the highlights, man. The highlights does so much. Yellow, red. Yellow, red? Maybe more Jason set? This probably has a lot more noise than the other one. It must be from the... Oh no, it's not just from the brush. Let's see. It's very deliberate. I wonder what the choices are. Like what is the logic for doing this versus why this part is empty? Probably just by vibes, right? But like, what exactly is the artist feeling like this? All these subtle things in here. I wonder how this statement will hold up now with all the AI stuff. But like, I feel like when you see all these weird ass patterns in there, maybe these are flowers or something. It's like a true, like, I feel like this is what true artists are like, because like they just go by vibes and feel. They just put things they don't necessarily know specifically why. It just makes them feel a certain way, and then they do it. I don't know how to how I would do something like this. I guess maybe it's not just like not my kind of thing. It's done with oils. I see. I cannot understand this at all. I cannot sort of relate at all. I don't know what it's going through. Because it's not like, so clean big shapes, right? That makes sense to me. You're simplifying and your shapes are very, very sort of the center of your style. That makes sense. If you're using noise, kind of makes sense. If you're using texture brushes, also kind of makes sense. But if you're just like putting patterns of like all these flowers and stuff in there, it's like I guess it's like one more step away like from using just texture brushes, I suppose. But you're adding visual interest, but then also staying more thematically on point. And then like as for the colors and the saturated colors and whatnot that's being chosen, I suppose that is just a like some kind of color theory thing, or it's just like a vibe thing. Like I don't, one way or another, I guess it's the same thing. Anyways, very, very, very artistic is what I would say. Yeah, I cannot feel it at all. Like there are things that kind of make sense that they don't. Like this artist is really out there for me. I can get behind the vibes of this one. It's more cohesive. It's kind of bluish, a little bit of saturated. Like the feeling, you can kind of feel it a bit more. Whereas the other ones, like these more psychedelic ones, more colorful ones, I am unable to perceive anything other than noise. Yeah, my mind is blank. Wow. Okay. What am I missing here? something in my life is missing here, I guess. This looks really nice. I want to bookmark this one. Oh, they got more? Hmm. I'm very biased towards blue after all, but... Okay. So whenever I do my update for my bookmarks list, my art map will pull this automatically. Somewhere down the line. A couple months down the line, I imagine. But yeah, very interesting, Uni. Thank you very much. Oh, this distribution of stars, by the way, is very interesting to me. It's, oh, that's like two aspects of it. I feel like the distribution here is kind of even-ish. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, because I'm not sure if what I'm saying makes sense. But then I guess the first thing that came to mind when I saw the specs of the colors here, I thought it would be more interesting if it was concentrated around the character. So your empty space is sort of directly contrasting very strongly around the character. But then, unless you put it really dense here, which wouldn't help because you would break the silhouette, so you wouldn't want that. And then if you put in just like the same density but only around the character, it will look really oddly empty, I suppose. The other thing is it's so clear. Like the sky is so clear here. Oh, the night sky. Oh no, it's got noise in it. I was gonna say, because like they do have a lot of these more sort of deep bright kind of vibe. Maybe that's not the best way to put it, but like a bit noisier because this is almost uncharacteristically quiet, which would be great to set up contrast too. So anyways, interesting stuff here. What about this? Is it empty? This is also pretty empty. It's got noise on it, but very faint. Probably the same filter, I imagine. It just probably doesn't react very well with black. No lines too, huh? The lines probably got layer molded out, like into the thing somehow. Okay, yeah, this is good. This is good. I am getting all these different suggestions, and then now with the system, I can sort of see the limitations of this, and then it gives me a more concrete direction as to what to work on. Because I can come up with like a bajillion ideas for the scripts, but unless we have a specific use case for it, it's kind of hard to know whether if it's really gonna be useful. If we have a use case, then that would be the guiding sort of reference point. If it's able to sort of help us and analyze. Because the one that Duvet recommended today was also no line art, and the color was kind of sort of a little bit, the contrast were a bit lower. And this is kind of like the opposite. High value contrast, high color contrast. It'd be interesting, right? We can have one axis as how strong the line art is, and then the other axis as sort of the value and color contrast. I wonder... But there is saturation contrast, I'm sure, right? Saturation contrast here. Why does it look like this? Oh, but saturation in math is kind of different, I suppose. Also, the white background is kind of messing up the math. Like, so what does this mean here? My x-axis is saturation contrast. Oh, I see. Because it's contrast. And it's using white as one of the data reference points. Wait, saturation contrast. Is that a hue contrast? So these guys are meant to be high saturation and like hue entropy. I'm not specifically sure what this means. I'm supposed to have a... I didn't write all the comments yet. So I came up with some of the computations and ideas for analyzing it. But then I send it through Claude for some more ideas and also consolidating and factorizing out some math. So what come out afterwards, I don't know like what this is. So this one specifically, I think, is trying to figure out how spread across the color wheel it is, basically, regardless of saturation. So yeah, how spread across. So how many different hues? But it doesn't look like there's a lot of hues over here though. I guess all the grays are kind of interfering with this. How about this color variety? It is very colorful, but these ones are pretty desaturated though. Saturation and contrast. Yeah, this one is it's very sus. This math is very sus. Doesn't really work that well. So it exists here. Huh. Anyways, thank you again, Uni. Good stuff. One day it's gonna... One day, all the time I spend will be justified. I need to spend more time in it. I'm sure there's no sunk cost fallacy or anything like that. I'm sure I'm in control. Sounds like a true gambler. Oh, now it has the contrast that I want. Now I can actually see the thing. But if it's physically possible, that's not my concern. Not today. What? Oh no, that must be the brush of these guys. These guys, right? I thought the waves were peeking through. Is that it then? I guess this is kind of it, right? Like it kind of works. Not necessarily the most technically correct, not necessarily the most interesting looking, but it is something. Kind of works. Let's see music. Let's see. Ho ho ho. Wait, hang on. Maybe this will be fine. 1.5 hours left. What do I want to do here? Well, at least I have to render the eyes, I suppose. I'm trying to figure out where I want to be, right? What is considered acceptable level of render? Honestly, even if you spend another 6 hours on this, I imagine we'll still be kind of in a very rough state. Because like all the windows in the back and the trees, the foliage, the ground, the texture on the ground. And oh yeah, the waves, sorry. I was wondering, there was one more thing that I forgot. Yeah, the waves. Anymore. What an idea. なるほど。いいや、このままで。In between the two places, kind of. I suppose, yeah. Okay. A bit more orange on the back. Make it a bit yellow so it's visually distinct here. Reminds me of a bag that I used to have that's basically this color. It's a sling bag as well. My most clear distinct memory of the bag is that I put a bubble tea in and then I set it sideways and then I accidentally crushed the bag and then the bubble tea thing, you know, naturally opened up. So I had bubble tea in a bag. Anyways, how do I want to deal with the eyes here? Because everything is operating on its own set of layers. I guess we don't have an issue here. I can just do it on top directly. Click off. Oh. Not enough pixels still. I don't feel like I never have enough pixels. Oh, right. I forgot about all the scars and stuff. I do need that in here. Oh. Crap. Do I not have the references here, bro? Come on, man. Oh, at least I have disconnected. Original. Okay. Reference. Not here. Here. Right, ready? Yeah, no. Oh, yes. Maybe I forget to line this. Goddamn. 1, 2, check. 1, 2, check. 1, check. The other ones are not. Easy proof. Check. Arm check. Legs are all blocked up. They're all fine here. Lock it. Doesn't look like it's the right color. I get that. Yes. Yes, we're pushing for it now. That's what we're going on. Okay. The B on top, right? I can separate it. There you go. It must be really gradual. Okay. Right. Let's click. Oh, spilling over. Opacity 100%? Was my brush on opacity 100? No, it's not. Wait, what am I talking about? Oh, I guess it doesn't, because it doesn't taper to 0. Oh. You're right, now it should, okay, now it's a bit better. Oh, wait, this makes no sense. It should line up with the shadow here. I'm gonna change the shadow instead. To at least stay consistent within my own sort of weird logic here. And, so it's interesting. It's split between, so what I should spend time on rendering now is kind of split between two ideologies, I guess, two ideas. One, you focus on the character because character's the main thing. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Number two, the background is just way too rough. Perhaps like background could do with a bit more work so that it's brought up to a similar level of attention. so it becomes more cohesive that way, because it's going to be rough either way. um, I don't know which one would be correct, right? And it's not necessarily like a technically correct thing, more of just a personal preference, which I'll only know by doing one of them and then coming back to this like a few months later and figuring out if I made the right choice. So I think the best way to approach this is not think too much, and then I'm just going to fix whatever that I see. Whatever that bothers me the most, I suppose. I guess that would be the correct way to do this. What color do I want? I need this to be even more faint. Very cool, very cool. Let's not make it more complicated than it needs to be. This guy isolates. It's already isolated here, right? Yo ho ho. No. Yo ho homies. Yokohama. The buildings bother me now, so I'm gonna fix the buildings instead. Let's go look at the buildings. Let's see. Now she looks out of place because the colors are tuned differently, like with different methods. But I have to turn it off so I can paint this. Don't I have a? Yeah, I do. Am I using this at all? Put it here. Nothing on this layer. Cool. Right, because it's not straight though. Oh. It'll be fine here. Closer. Oh, they have the same perspective. What's this one boring ass building? It's actually just two cubes? No, it's not. Let's just bring this up. Oh. This kind of actually kind of is a good stand-in of like building details almost. I don't have the perspective in the right angle. Otherwise, I would just go like ba 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 and it would be done. Right. Where's my here? Huh? One, 20. Oh shit. I guess I could do this. Oh, okay, this works. Do I want here? Reset this piece. Right here, please. Ooh, that's very dark. Ah, weird ass spot here. Should have. How do I want to deal with this? It's also not bright enough. don't have the ruler set up, I cannot just send it through. Well, I could cheat here, so let's do it this way. Let me see. Would actually be easier to grab the gray lines instead. Okay, let's put that instead. Oh, I can borrow this to get that silhouette. Oh, nice. So it saves me some work. Why is there this is that a row of empty pixels? How did I not see that before? What? No, what? What is that? Huh? Oh, wait, no, it's because I'm being stupid. Because I locked it. That's why I couldn't paint over it. Okay. So what are floating white pixels, bro? What? Finally going insane. Seeing pixels in my eyes, bro. Dead pixels in my eyes. Take me home, country roads. It's time to go home. It's very noisy. Sorry, it's very dirty. The brush looks kind of cool up close, right? But the patterns are way too big for it to be on the building this far. Otherwise, it's pretty cool. True story, bro. Yeah, this is the problem, isn't it? Like you get a vibe for like the color in that region, kind of bright and whatnot. You get it kind of right, and then you put like something over it, and then all of a sudden it's not anymore because half the pixels are replaced by something else. So it's kind of a weird order, right? If you think about it, because you want to paint the back first before you put in details like the grid on top, like this set of railings on top. But by doing so, you're also you're having to go back and fix the colors again, which is always kind of interesting. It's like chicken and the egg, but both at the same time. And I have to go back and forth. Anyways, enough rents. Let's do this. What? Okay, I'm tripping again. I'm on the wrong layer. Wait, hang on, what? Right here. Ah, shit. Ruined it. More green over here, I think. Mm-hmm. Right. Painting. Paint. Paint. No, it doesn't work. Kind of unnatural looking. Kind of a pain, yes, to but that's the this whole exercise, right? To look at all these pain in the ass things and being like, oh yeah, it's fine. Ain't nobody got time for that. Except that's the whole reason I'm here doing this in the first place, so I guess that's not really a good excuse. I suppose it is kind of boring, huh? It's kind of boring. I don't know why I'm doing the accent, by the way. Recently I've been too tired to just set a filter, so everything just kind of comes out. I'll be bothered. Oh, I forgot to lock. That is not a good. No bueno. Just a little bit more value control here. Oh, this is on a separate layer. Thank God I'm smart. Only for this one part though. But damn, I'm stupid. It's kind of bright, is it? What am I looking at? Kind of confused by the colors. Because it's the same as when you're looking like the thing that I described, but when you're looking at the photo as well, like you're kind of seeing all the colors at the same time. I have no idea what I'm looking at. Guess I would just do this. Just do that. Do it this way. Alright, it's got the vibe, right? It's got the vibe. That's all I need. That's all I need. The buildings are kind of meh, but like they're at least something. I will go and maybe fix the foliage next. We have like half an hour left. Oh my god. Yeah, it's nowhere near enough time to do something like this one. Even without all the dailies and then me looking at my own stupid as a website thingy. The waves themselves will probably take a good couple hours. I think we would likely still continue because I wanted to see how I can make the waves like render the waves as simply as possible. I'm imagining the stuff and I imagine what that means is that like I'm trying to simplify shapes, right? So that means I'm trying to make the shapes bigger because the smaller the shapes, the more I need to draw. But what that also means is that the really small shapes just disappear and merge into a singular blob. So I guess the second, like the further half of the ocean, I would just have big patches of color. And then when I come to the front, I will see more of those waves. So what that means is that I should paint it in a way where I would paint in the darker spots. So I can selectively... Right, photo bash. I'm not so sure about photo bashing because it would sort of kind of tilt the balance of the details perhaps. Because if you photo bash and then you go in and paint over it, the distribution, I feel like the contrast between the painted parts and then the photo bash parts might be pretty high. And if you have to paint anyways, then anyways, we'll find out. I think I'll find out over time here. Ladders, doors, conventional windows on the other structures, and even mecha, you can identify the structure. Like the scale of it? Interesting. Dang, dude, the impact of the colors. Pretty cool. I guess that is kind of enough in the back. I would like to just get the silhouette of the foliage here. We're also missing some tinier buildings, which I guess is not that important overall. Actually, if anything, it would be the ocean right now, I think. Because it's the biggest area here. This is the ocean at the very bottom. Bottom? It's not a good brush for this. Alright, yes, have a good night, Uni. Thanks for coming. And thank you for the well wishes. Buildings, junk, and then this junk. A lot of random junk. Okay, I need this to be a little bit greener, I think. Bit too green. Maybe this. Some kind of foliage brush would be nice. Actually, foliage is the same as clouds. It's just that my cloud brushes are not opaque. It tends to make a lot of these semi-opaque areas very noisy very quickly. Right. I mean, like the skyscrapers, I guess skyscrapers you can't really see the windows that well because they tend to be very padded with glass. Or like they would be like the weird line building in the middle. But like apartment blocks are kind of cool with all the like bajillion windows. That's where all the romance, well, actually I don't know if this Japanese word, like usage of the word romance kind of translates over, but like that's where all the vibes are anyways. Those apartment blocks, because it's more relatable than those big multi-million billion dollars company sort of buildings and shit. Oh, let me put in this one contrast because it's so boring without this bigger, slightly thicker line. Where is it? How close is it? It's kind of close, huh? Blue? No, it's kind of darker than that. It's very strong because I don't have the gradient over it. Come on. What am I even doing? I'm getting so confused by the lines. Okay, what was I doing? Right, the plants. The best way to do this. There's that one dumbass square brush that I got, that I made that video with, the one drawing the night sky. I was like, oh, so cool, you can draw round shapes like clouds with a square brush. Wow. I don't know where that brush went. It might just be the one that we have always been using, but I changed it from ribbon into whatever it is right now. Maybe I should duplicate it. Let me see. I just need to untick this box here. Wait. No, I just need to tick this box here. And then I can make my stupid ass shapes again. It's not very nice though, to be honest. It's too jagged. But if you go in and round it up a little bit more afterwards with different size brushes, it could be a good way to do this. What the fuck is that? I mean, it does serve the purpose. Okay, other than this stupid ass blob here, because it's on the thing behind it, which is kind of annoying because it's the lines are on the same layer. At this rate, I might as well just draw the two boxes in front. This is a kind of distracting. Okay, you know what? This is about simplifying the nonsense. I'm just gonna block it. Why didn't I just block it? And then the junk in the front. Let's do another layer here. Kind of has the same color as these guys, so YOLO. Is this, is that a straight line? Straight-ish, right? It's kind of very curved. Okay, you know what? Since it's already, I don't see the ends of it, right? We don't see the ends of it. Where's the line tool? Continuous, no, singular curve is fine. Alright, we can just kind of do this later. I just need to start an endpoint here. It's tilting kind of down. Okay, that's fine. It's kind of thick, so we go by 20. No, it's too much. Huh? Maybe it is just a straight line. Maybe I'm just getting confused. I mean, a little bit more organic shapes shouldn't hurt. Surely. Bonk. Right. Grab this guy. Cover it up. And then another layer on top of that. A little bit more. A bit brighter now. This one is the true coastline here. Thereabouts. I'm just gonna selectively block it. I will just, how should I approach this? I guess I'll paint over on the front. That makes the most sense. I am going Gus. I'm gonna just break up the shapes with this brush real quick. Where is it most blocked? So somewhere around here. Actually, it doesn't matter. I can do whatever I want. I need to make sure that it only ever goes up though. I cannot have it go below this line here. So this seems prudent. The irony there is that if I use a bigger version of the brush, because it's able to show the strokes like this, It's actually easier to do rather than using a small brush. The line is still kind of very present. Yeah. You eat blue fish? Meow 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 meow. Is it locked? It is. Oh. Am I painting anything? What? Right, yeah, I was expecting more color difference. I can't see it. Maybe a bit too strong. There's some random noise here. What about this guy? A little bit? Oh, this random noise is not as easy to do. I think I'm just gonna... I'll use the same method of doing it, but I'm gonna lower the value contrast here. So it's a bit less apparent, but can still be lazy. This part here... Maybe not. We're missing those buildings in between, so it's not as fancy. Oh, this part is kind of tall, huh? Yeah, because I don't have those buildings there. If I do, I can lower this a bit more. It's fine, though. Literally doesn't even matter. With all this stuff, I cannot even see it. I think we need more... Oh. Yeah, I think we could do with some like pure white spots, like kind of like this. This one is just not... Oh, but it's also not cut up over here. I guess this is a different idea. We need some specks on the rest of the building. And then this one needs more bright spots at the top here. Yeah, I know, right? I'm gonna leave those for now, because water is a bigger problem here. Water? What do I do with the water? The problem is am I supposed to use... I did use the opacity here, right? I did. Because I'm wondering... Because I kind of kept all the edges very sharp for the most part. So if I use like a lot of soft edges, might be a little bit out of place. Maybe not. Maybe. All right. I need to start merging shapes. So these shapes are a little bit too much, too noisy here. But I can't erase too much of it. So if I want to erase, I need to erase the one that's further away because they are meant to be abstracted away here. A bit of a black spot here. Over here. So somewhere over here. Ugh. I mean, it's a bit lot better already in the back. It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of nice that like some of the strokes that we did before kind of just peeked through a little bit, but it's also kind of not that nice because it implies that it's part of the process. That means that in the future, if I do draw the sea and I want it to look like this, I do have to put in the pieces first, just to cover it over, just to cover it. Not so sure about this one. Uh, hmm. How do I draw this? Yeah, there's no way about it. I'm trying to imagine what I want it to end up looking like. So I can just get there, but then I guess I don't know. So just kind of to push the shapes, like make it more defined, less defined. Yeah. And see where we go, I guess. Mm. Not my kind of thing, I think that's for sure. It does fit the purpose really well, though. Anyways. This would probably be better, actually. We don't have the squares. I guess we pick local color and just paint. This is a painting thing, for sure, then. But that does require me to figure out what the basic shape is, which I have seen tutorials for before. Just never done them. I'm not really sure. So kind of like, yeah, the front and the back. Yeah, this brush is also kind of hard to work. It starts off like really flat and then it tapers off because of the brush tip design. Yeah, if I put it in deliberately, it's very, very awkward. Not very natural. If I put it in randomly, I guess way too much. Just way too many of them. much work to do. Yeah. I should definitely start with broad strokes first. But then that goes into the very deliberate sort of regime, and then that becomes not very natural looking every time. Even as it stands, I guess the water is kind of okay-ish. My wakes are a little bit more wavy. Just not what I want. I didn't really want this. I just started becoming more and more wavy because it's easier to imagine it as triangles rather than like smaller triangles. Two triangles. Being as close as we are to the character now, I feel like maybe we should show the character to make sure we're painting in a way that doesn't distract. But then at the same time, the noise, the detail distribution is also kind of pretty dense anyways. Sorry, not dense, just evenly dense or evenly sparse, but yeah, it's still not very determinate. So I think, yeah, okay, so Ocean, definitely I need to find someone whose style I do like and just learn from there. See where the line is drawn. Somehow I got the feeling we end up using texture brushes. Ugh. I think that's a good chance we end up doing just brushes instead. Speaking of which, do I have any? I don't want it to just stamp it in, but then surely there are brushes that are very good at sort of approximating, you know, what we want. Oh, sorry, this is one of those brushes. Not very good. It's kind of close though. Anyways, I don't really want to use brushes for this either. As much as possible, I'm gonna stick to these tools. Self-conflicting again, of course. Anyways, as today draws to a close, I suppose it's what did we do today? Other than the buildings? Did I paint the entire character today? I think I did, right? Right. Right, right. Assuming like let's say like 6 hours is the deadline here, right? What would I do in the last 15 minutes? I wonder if there's something that I can do to make it pop even more. We already have like the overlays and stuff, so so actually this should be in here. No? This is the what? This is the character, right? Oh, but the line right. Right. Actually, why do I have that there? What is this for? Yeah, I don't have anything spilling out of it, so that's fine. I can just do this. Then I can put everything on just this. Yeah, blow it up. Boom. Alright, just a little bit more overlay. No. Which way? This way? No. Yeah, okay, yeah, we did lack this. I think we do kind of need a bit of this. But there is a disconnect between this and the background because it's separate. If we move this on top, I just need to re-enable this. So this guess versus oh shit. I guess this. But we already drew the characters separate. Yeah, the overlay would not work because fundamentally the colors underneath are done in under different lighting scenarios. The background is done flat with a photo as a reference, whereas the character was done with the modified background as a reference. So it couldn't work anyways. But that's fine. Did I do it? I think I did. Yeah, I did do it yesterday. Oh, misclick. Just drop this. That's like nuclear bomb went off. 100%. Holy shit. I wonder if I can trade the overlays a little bit for a glow dodge, but I don't think so. Alright, let's see what we can do though. Add. I think it's more of a difference than... Hard light is kind of cool actually. Hard light really makes it moody because it just pushes all the colors together like that. Thin light might be interesting for the shadows. Oh, it's got that like that weird filter effect. I see. Right. This looks very interesting, doesn't it? What am I looking at? What's happening here? They bring the brightness to the same value. Oh, I see. So value contrast being eroded, and it's only color and saturation. So hue and saturation contrast. That's why this feels like this. That's very interesting. So let's say I took this area. Let me delete this. Was it brightness? Brightness. If I push it here, okay, it's just too intense. What if it's a little bit less intense? It just makes everything disappear, right? Because only saturation values are left. Sorry, saturation and hues are left. There's not enough of a separation because the colors inherently are very desaturated. I see. So that's why it's not very visible. But otherwise, this is a very interesting effect here, actually. And what happens when we change different values here? Because this is very reminiscent of some of those artists that has very colorful stuff. Right? The value contrast is not that high, but then the hue and the colors are very vibrant. Wow, okay, now this looks so pale in comparison. It's like a photo negative almost. But it's not. Anyways, what was it? I think it was hard light that I find interesting. Oh shit. This kind of pushes her in. But then some of the background is getting a little bit too bright, I think. Like the ocean's gone. Yeah, this is why the adjustment should be done at the end. And we can avoid situations like this. Should just put these guys in a folder at this point. It's kind of ridiculous. I kind of like this more. It's very explosive. I can just take out the... I cannot take out the screen because I needed to dampen the thing. So what I could do is lower the values here, so it doesn't look so insane. I literally can, or what? Interesting. What about the ocean? Right, because it's not the entire layer, it's just that region thing needs to be balanced out. But if it's just the colors that I like, maybe I can use a darker value. Something dark, right? Right, but this is... how should I say this? It feels like we're kind of just going into a different type of lighting almost. It's like kind of similar, but also kind of different. Because the contrast is just brought really, really high up. So it's like fundamentally the same thing, but just brighter, like more contrasty. Which is not like, you know, what I was looking for. I'm kind of more looking for just stuff that I can add to improve the current lighting, I guess. Not do it in a different way. Right. I do kind of like this though. I do want this. I like the orange that comes out here. Just very intense. This I'm not gonna do. I feel like there's something here that can be done. Like something, well, like one of those where you duplicate everything and then put it in over itself kind of situations. Not really, I don't think. Doesn't do too much. Hard mix, right? Hard mix is a good way to add like random patterns into the art, I think. Actually, another thing that's affecting us is the white background here. I should have taken this out. I think value 14 is the exact value of the background here. Oh, it's a bit darker, so it's 13. 13 is exactly the same shade. No, it's just slightly darker somehow. If we put this on and then we put another thing on top and then we try to bring out some of the more saturated colors, I think it would be a really cool effect. I don't know how to do it though. Kind of like this, but not really. This is a little weird. Oh, sorry, it's applying to the wrong thing. I feel like after like some of the stuff that we did I study or did I find like a guide on no it was the Korean tweet about duplicating everything, putting was it an overlay of orange or something? Then turning everything into brightness and then something something something. I can't remember how it worked. Invert something as well. Um I think that opened the doors to kind of like instead of just using one layer with something like a glow dodge or like a hard light or like an overlay, I'm starting to experiment more and thinking about more of like just compositing everything once, applying it uh, as a layer mode, or applying some more filters on that before applying everything as a layer mode, or changing something before applying it. Like you're just starting to composite more and more complexity into this. Not necessarily a good thing, but you start to see more interesting things that I wouldn't have noticed before. Like this kind of has its own flavor, right? And like some of these methods in the past I would dismiss as not being very useful. Like right now, not very useful, I feel like, because the whole vibe is very different, right? You kind of aren't able to see the image very well anymore. It's a very different direction at this point. But at the same time, like, you know, we can still continue to fix that because I can just add another thing on top and then we can bring certain things back into focus. So there's like a lot of things you can just start doing. Like this right now is weird. But if I just overlay a little bit. Oh, but it kind of loses the vibrance, right? Yeah, the vibrance is what's cool, I think. Oh, this kind of works. Apply a soft light. Look at that. This is why some pieces are so impossible to reverse engineer. Because like there are so probably a bunch of different layers with different modes and different like curves. Like we have this one curve here, right? If we had changed it some other way, it would be very different. So that's why it's kind of impossible to do sometimes. But I guess like in principle, like the way that people perceive and find things appealing or whatnot, like it's still kind of similar because we have like desaturated and then saturated midtones in the middle, I guess. Yeah, exactly, right? And then you know what we could do is we put layers on top and start painting over this. Can you imagine? Like we can start painting over this, and then there will all of a sudden be like flat textures on top of everything, right? All of a sudden this becomes kind of like maybe like a painterly vibe thing. And then like as someone who didn't know about the process, like if you didn't know that I did all these layers, you might be like, holy shit, this guy is such a master of colors, right? He managed to freaking pick and paint in these colors, and it's so interesting, it's so cohesive, blah 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 blah, right? Like look at all these colors. Like if you just look at the brush up here, it's kind of cool. It got these like really grayish colors, but then they kind of all work. Well, grays always work together, I guess. But anyways, that's why I like the message is important, like what you're trying to convey, right? And for us, we don't really have a story, we don't have an emotion, we don't have anything to work with. So saying that like we can kind of call it at any point in time. So I don't really know what to do, which is why we kind of have to I kind of have to go through that our map thing and then start analyzing all these things that I find other people have drawn and figure out if I like it for colors, for example. Then we can start using that as a way to do this. Yeah, but then I need to figure out the map. I need to figure out what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. It's gonna take us. What the? Oh, sorry. This one specifically splits it into 36 different buckets, and then another one of them splits it into 10 buckets or something. So it becomes very, very rigid, which is very funny. But the problem, of course, is that they're all overlaid on top of each other. So we can unpack this, I guess. Mildly phallic shape, not on purpose, I guarantee. But I wonder where we are actually. Let me put our stuff in here, real quick. Already exists? What is 11? Oh, it's the one for Rossi. Whoops. Keyboard. Still not used to this keyboard. And then I need to crop it. Oh, I just realized we don't have a crop functionality on our website, but I think that's very, very unnecessary. Let's see. Edit with photos. Edit with photos. There we go. 16:9. I do not care about the aspect ratio. Aspect ratio is not being set, right? Okay, yeah, no, sorry. This is way more colorful than what I had envisioned, by the way. Like, what you guys saw, most likely, is way more colorful than what I am seeing. We do have to really get a new tablet, honestly. It's kind of ridiculous how much this is affecting us. Save directly. Yeah, I'm looking at my main monitor now. It's kind of insane. There's a lot more red than I would like it to be. What I have here is a bit more subtle. Is it working? Did I break it? What? I think what's happening is that this thing isn't very suited for not being, yeah, like you see now I can click it, but I couldn't click it before. There's something to do with the resizing of the windows here. I'm not gonna get repo. Stream. Over here. Hue dominance. Interesting. We do have to fix this. Kind of crushed somehow. Very squished. Anything useful at all? Like, how is this here, dude? Dang, I really gotta review the math on this. Fraction of pixels with saturation below the achromatic threshold. I see. So you're telling me I have just as not many number of pixels that are gray compared to this? What? Yeah, human perception and the math doesn't line up at all. Like, I think the math is a bit more linear, right? It's definitely linear. It's just 0 to 100. But your perception is not linear. And as a result, it's kind of jank. Or maybe this, right? Maybe this. You know, you have the same sort of a lot of colors kind of idea. But like this? What did it say? Average hue light? Circular mean hue of light pixels. Okay. And then the other one? Dominant hue spread, was it? Angular width of the dominant hue peak in degrees. So none of these makes any sense intuitively. But it's just the math that's going on underneath. But I need to fix all the comments too. Anyways, stop here. Should I continue this tomorrow? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, even this is kind of blown. Like, this is maybe the glow dodge. No, not. Oh, it's a hard light, sorry. It was done on purpose to lower the value contrast. Maybe at the end of the day, this is like the most easier to look at. Let me check on the other screen. Yeah, it's alright, I guess. It's alright. It's alright. Not having that inspiration and then drawing just doesn't have any meaning at all. Like, what we have here is by no means like bad. I think it's fine. It conveys something. But because I don't feel it, and I don't feel anything when I drew it, there's no meaning to this at all, drawing this. Oh, I see. Interesting. So actually that means that the right, I mean if I want to do cute stuff, I wouldn't do this. Because I wouldn't consider this cute, exactly. Right, you can construe it as cute, but then if you compare it to something that is um like more girly, like kind of clothes, cuter colors, perhaps cuter setting. This is, you know, if I want to draw for cute, then that is what I would draw instead of this. Um, Not to say that this is not cute, but I wouldn't necessarily perceive it as such myself. Where's my stupid as a... Okay, here. So... God damn it. Skip. So I have my journeys laid out over here, right? And then we have design here. So we have our anatomy, which actually I don't think warrants an entire section here. But what does warrant is our simplification thing. However, this still needs a bit more grounding. I think, okay, let me think about this, right? So what I'm saying is that I did this whole piece. I don't feel anything. We can kind of execute on it. We can continue to execute on this and practice rendering and shapes and whatnot. But I just feel so empty inside, and that's like, it doesn't feel like it's a good use of time, 100%. But then the only way to find out what kind of stuff really makes sense and is inspiring to draw for me is to draw a bunch of different things. So while we're on this journey of simplification, um, while Big Nord, while we're in this journey here, I might as well take the chance to be like, hey, um, since we're going through it faster and more free, because this one makes sense, right? Because we do have to try different environments anyways to learn how to simplify different environments. And because we're going so fast, well, relatively faster anyways, and lightheartedly, it should be a bit easier to sort of explore more ideas here. Um, right, I know, like, I get what you're saying, the virus, right? But I'm sure you also get what I'm saying. Um, like, we're not trying to deny the value of what this is. It is what it is, right? It is a completed piece. It has its background. It has some simplifications. It is a good practice, and so on and so forth. But then doing this forever, like, I'm imagining going down this process of drawing like 10s and 20 of these things. It feels like it's kind of lacking. That's what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find some kind of meaning to this beyond just like the technical stuff. Maybe this is me scope creeping again. This is probably me scope creeping again. But I think for this one idea of trying different environments and ideas, it should be fine here. Because it is part of the exercise specifically. Part of the original scope to simplify environments. Okay. So I need to think about this. I need to figure out what is it that I want to draw. That's one way, and then the other way would be to how can I make this I have fun with the I did not have fun with the water. 100% no. No fun with the water at all. Consolidated sequence to-do list? No, not this journey certification. I didn't update this. Okay. Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. I forgot what the train of thought was, but anyways, yes. So it's either try a different environment. Sorry, I'm probably not using the word inspire correctly. With my like correctly in the sense of with my own definition of how I used it before. Um, but yeah, like let's say this one I don't really feel anything. How would I make it more interesting? Sorry, not how do I make it more interesting, but I guess I'm drilling down to exactly what inspires me then. I see. That does make sense. I have no idea. Anyways, um I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for coming. See what we do tomorrow. Have a good night, guys. Goodbye. Yes, very cool, Tavares. Thank you. Have a good night, man. 314. Goodbye, George.